The call came just after midnight. The voice on the other end didn't waste time. Your son's arm was dislocated and he's missing a pinky finger. Silence. Then the background hum of machines, a nurse's clipped commands. I drove without remembering the streets. The emergency room stank of antiseptic and betrayal. He was curled under a thin blanket, shaking. His face was pale, his breathing uneven. "Dad," his voice cracked. "Mom's boss caught me, recording them together. He said, if I showed you, he'd snap my neck." I didn't move. "Then Mom, she did this with my finger." He wouldn't meet my eyes. My stomach turned as I reached into his hoodie pocket and felt the rectangle of his phone. Unlocked. The video played. Her laugh, his hands, the sound of the door slamming when my boy walked in. I couldn't feel my hands anymore. I sat in my truck long after they patched him up. The night was too quiet for what I'd just seen. Her voice on the video wasn't afraid, it was annoyed. She didn't plead with him to stop. She didn't defend our son. She told him to teach him a lesson. And he obeyed. No broken window of morality, no hesitation, just cruelty dressed as authority. I'd suspected the late nights, the sudden business trips, but suspicion and proof live in different worlds. This was a signed confession. I didn't tell her I knew, not yet. Instead, I watched her walk through the door later that night, calm as a priest before Sunday Mass. She kissed my forehead like nothing had happened. Her perfume clung to my shirt for hours. I didn't change. I wanted to remember exactly what I was going to destroy. I started small. A copy of the phone video to a secure drive. Backups on 2 encrypted sticks. I pulled her boss's business records. Every real estate listing, every quiet asset he'd tucked away. Paper trails don't lie. People do. At work, I was polite. At home, I was silent. Silence unnerves the guilty. She noticed within days. Her eyes lingered on me longer. Her questions became careful. I gave her nothing. When she showered, I checked her phone. When she left the room, I opened her laptop. She was sloppy. Passwords reused, messages unsent but saved. Each new piece was a drop of acid. He wasn't just her boss, he was her plan, a way out, a way up. Our son was just in the way. It took me 2 weeks to get everything: video, emails, texts, and the hospital report that would burn them both alive in the right hands. But I wasn't giving it to the police, not yet. The day I chose was ordinary. I made her breakfast. I kissed her cheek. Then I placed the envelope in front of her. No words. She slid it open. The video first, then the medical report, then the screenshots of her messages. Her hands shook, but her voice stayed steady. "Where did you get this?" I met her eyes for the first time in weeks. "You left the door open." Her face cracked. A silent realization that the game was over. She reached for some excuse, some performance. I didn't let her. "I know everything," I said. My voice was flat, measured, a scalpel, not a hammer. I drove her to his office. She didn't know why. The shotgun stayed in the back seat. He was alone, working late. When he saw me, his smile was small but smug. When he saw the envelope, it died. "You're finished," I told him. I placed copies of everything on his desk. One for him, one for the corporate board, one for the district attorney, already scheduled for morning delivery. His face drained. The predator looked hunted. I didn't yell. I didn't touch him. I just told him exactly how his life would collapse in sequence. Resignation, divorce, criminal charges. Every step inevitable. Every step starting now. I left him with the last copy, and her standing in his doorway. I didn't look back. By sunrise, the calls started, first from her, then from him, then from numbers I didn't recognize. I didn't answer. My son slept in the next room, his arm in a sling. He didn't need to know the details. He just needed to know I was here. I poured coffee and watched the street. The world kept moving. People went to work. Dogs barked. Life went on. So would I. They would both survive this, but they would never recover. Not really. And me? I was done surviving them. I didn't keep the last copy. I didn't need it. I had the truth burned into my memory, and that was enough to bury them forever.